Hey there again. I am actually going to make a comment that I don't think many people are going to be very happy about. But after spending 3 hours in the sun yesterday protesting Donald Trump, and I think it was 8 million people out in the streets, we're not getting rid of Trump unless we have impeachment hearings, unless we demand impeachment. We can protest all we want, but that doesn't stop what they're going to do unless we impeach Trump and impeach J.D. Vance. And then I was thinking about it because my own Congresswoman, Andrea Salinas, was there and she was saying, we're going to fight this. And so I, with my megaphone, kept saying, articles of impeachment. We need articles of impeachment. I've been pondering this. Why are the Democrats acting like Al Green putting in articles of impeachment a complete waste of time and treating him like he's the radical left or an insignificant member of Congress? And he's been there for a good long time. He's very qualified and has done a lot of great work, right? It occurred to me, if they get rid of Trump and they get rid of J.D. Vance, then they have the January 6th planner, MAGA Mike, as president, who will appoint whoever he wants, which would no doubt be another insurrectionist. So literally, the Democratic Party, because Nancy Pelosi refused to start impeachment hearings with Donald Trump when he very first started breaking the emoluments clause as soon as he got into office. This isn't even a question. And then on top of that, we had all those hearings about the Mueller report, and Mueller literally said this is a matter for Congress, and she ignored it. I've never pieced out why she's ignored it. My opinion, the only reason I can think of is she's part of the coup to undermine our Constitution. Merrick Garland intentionally kept Donald Trump from being held accountable. He absolutely refused to go heavy-handed on Donald Trump and all of the minions. There was no indictment of Marjorie Taylor Greene. These are not conspiracy theories. These things happened on January 6th. Somebody led the charge. The Proud Boys didn't decide on their own to go into Washington, D.C. and know exactly where everybody was, where exactly everybody's office was. We know Andy Biggs was part of it. We know the names of these people. So why were they never indicted? Why were they never even questioned? Why were they just allowed to go ahead, run for Congress, and now embed themselves in Congress as the leaders of the committees that actually create the laws that we have to live by? The Democratic Party, there's a lot of talk about the Democrats. The Republicans do these things because they know the Democrats won't do anything about it. I'm beginning to think that some of the Democratic leadership is in on the coup to destroy American democracy. We can have 8 million people in the street. In Los Angeles, people are still getting shot with rubber bullets. Those people that they've abducted and stuck in concentration camps, they're still in concentration camps, folks. The people are still in the gulags in El Salvador, and God knows where. And how are they being treated? Americans not just need to protest. We need to demand that our Constitution be upheld. And yeah, get rid of Vance, get rid of them. And you know what? We can handle MAGA Mike, but we got to get impeachment, articles of impeachment. And the Democrats to say, oh, well, we just don't have enough people. You know what? It's never too late to do the right thing. Even if MAGA Mike stacks up 100 articles of impeachment on his desk, in fact, that's what we should have. We should have so many articles of impeachment stacking up on MAGA Mike's desk that CNN is reporting it. CNN will call it like a ridiculous thing because CNN is also in on the coup, as we have learned in the last month. We do need to keep standing up. I'm hoping we have a protest on July 4th, to be honest. I don't feel like celebrating on July 4th with these criminals. The insurrectionists, what we are dealing with right now is an embedded insurrection. I keep saying that, but it is absolutely true. And I personally want the Democratic leadership to come out and explain why they refused to start articles of impeachment. You know, I heard Jamie Raskin offhandedly say, well, find me 2 Republicans and we'll get started. You don't need to find 2 Republicans. You need to put the articles of impeachment in and then start pressuring the Republicans that live in purple states to join in on your articles of impeachment. It's double talk. We're being gaslit by the Democratic Party. There's no other way to look at it. Our country is going down in flames. We're becoming an authoritarian government. We are an authoritarian government right now. We, the people, have no voice. Most of us know that we're not going to have a real election in 2026. Let's get real. Let's get really real. You think the Democrats actually think we're going to have a blue wave in 2026? Come on. Wake up. You know, that's the thing, is the people that are awake, they call us conspiracy theories. And we're not awake. I guess that phrase, we need to rethink that phrase, wake up or not wake up. We're awake and we're being brutalized while we're awake. At what point is the Democratic Party going to start being honest and tell us exactly what is going on? I think that they're just afraid to tell us how absolutely deep the corruption is inside our own government. So instead, they're just going to we're going to have a Putin-esque kind of democracy where Donald Trump and his little gang of cronies stays the president for the next 12 to 15, 20 years. And maybe they'll mete out a little bit of democracy here and there for us. That's what it feels like. Someone explained to me why. And I mean, not really. I don't want to hear that we don't have enough votes. It is never too early to do the right thing. They can do the articles of impeachment right now. And I am going to call my Congressman, Andrea Salinas, keep calling her 3-4 times a week and saying, have you signed on to articles of impeachment yet? Have you signed on to articles of impeachment yet? Have you signed on to articles of impeachment yet? Have you signed on to articles of impeachment yet? They are allowing our country to go down in flames because they don't want to out the corruption within their own party. I can't figure it out. All I know is we don't have our rights in our country. Women lost their rights last year. They're about to pass that, what's it called, the SAVE Act, where they're saying that women, if our birth certificates don't match our IDs, we can't vote. That would include me, include most women in this country. But let's be real. We talk casually about the Republicans not wanting us to have our rights to vote. They genuinely do not believe women, people of color, and anybody who's not a white, rich, and rich is a key component because they call themselves originalists, I guess, from the Federalist Papers when all the people that were did the revolution were rich people. Our country is in a deep hurt because we have politicians who refuse to be honest with us. That is exactly what's happening. And they want us to throw ourselves in the street to be shot with rubber bullets? No, they don't want us to do that. They want us to stay home, sit down and shut up, and just be grateful for the few crumbs they give us. Pinochet 2.0 is currently being installed because the Democrats refuse to start articles of impeachment. They could shut Congress down and refuse to cooperate on every single committee. They have the power. But you know what? It's up to us. We saw 8 million people yesterday out in the streets. So let's call our elected officials and demand it because the power of the people is stronger than the people in power. Put your courage feet on, you guys. Let's save our country and demand action out of our elected officials.